Thank you for joining us this afternoon for our trip through Greece and Croatia, which I know is a top wish list destination for a lot of people. We sent out a survey, and that's how we came to be with this particular webinars. We asked people what they wanted to see, and these two destinations were the top two. So we thought, let's go on a journey and share some information about what the options are and what you'll see. But my name is Lisa Torgerson, and I'm the Director of Leisure Travel Services here at Travelex International. And we have Mina Agnos with us. She's one of our preferred partners for these two destinations. We've worked with her quite frequently, and her and her team do a fabulous job. So I will turn it over to her in just a second. But as we go through, we want to make this as interactive as possible. So if you have questions throughout the presentation, please type them in the chat box and we'll answer them as we go along, or we can save some time for questions at the end. So Mina, I'm going to turn it over to you and you can share what you have for us.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks so much, Lisa. And thanks everyone for taking a little bit out of your day to spend with me in Greece and Croatia. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so that I can get you in our presentation, and we'll walk through a couple of different itineraries for you. All right, so again, I'm Mina. I'm from a company called Travelex. We work with Travelex as the local expert on the ground in the Mediterranean. So when you're traveling overseas, I always tell people it's so important to have a local fixer, and we are that fixer for Travelex and clients. So that's why I have the pleasure of talking to you today. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go through some sample itineraries. One's going to be in Greece, one in Croatia. We're going to start with some of the fantastic explorations in each country. And of course, these are for people who are looking for kind of more first-time trips. So let's get started in Greece. Greece is home to more than 6,000 islands and islets. It's got the 10th largest coastline of any nation. And we're talking about a country the size of Alabama. So no part of Greece is more than 85 miles from the sea or from the beach at any given time. And it also has 300 days of sunshine per year. So it is a place that is definitely happy to be in. It's also home to the oldest ancient language that is still in use, but I am happy to report that Greeks speak a very high level of English as well. Today, we're going to walk through a 10-night itinerary, our Aegean dream, and we're going to focus on Athens with Mykonos, Paros, and Santorini. This is what our itinerary outline is going to look like. We'll do 2 nights in Athens. We're going to spend 3 nights in Mykonos. We'll do 4 nights in Paros and spend the last 3 in Santorini. So let's get started. Welcome to Athens. When you do arrive, you will have a meet and greet. We never leave you to do anything on your own. So you'll always have somebody there to hold your hand to make sure you get from point A to point B. We've got an incredible on-site local support staff and concierge services. So you'll always be able to reach out to somebody in your time zone 24/7. So your first afternoon is going to be free. We're happy to set up a dinner reservation. Rooftop bars are the new trend in Athens, and it's a great way to spend your first day. Here we're going to spend 2 nights, and it's going to be the start of your Greek adventure. All right, your first day in Athens. Athens, I do want to note, is a major European capital. It's been continually inhabited for the past 3,500 years, and it definitely has the potential to be more than a 1 or 2 night stay. And we're seeing that more and more people are really understanding that. It was voted one of the top 10 foodie destinations in the world. And of course, here you do have a great mix of the ancient and the modern. So let's get started with our touring. We're going to start with a private tour of Athens. You're going to see, of course, the famous Parthenon, the Acropolis, and the Temple of the Athenian Nike. You will visit Syntagma Square, see the changing of the guards. We definitely recommend a visit to the Acropolis Museum as well. And of course, you would want to explore the tastes and smells in a wonderful food tour. There are so many new ways to explore Athens, and it's definitely changed over the last several years. So I would definitely say keep an open mind as you consider Athens, and try different things out. It's definitely not the old dirty city that some people continue to believe it may be. All right, on day 3, we're going to hop over to the very famous Mykonos. I generally recommend doing this by flight. Of course, we will have somebody pick you up at your hotel in Athens to take you to the airport. Mykonos is an island that's very famous for its white buildings with blue doors. Of course, its windmills as well. The blue doors are actually a color called cyanos, which I guess we might call cyan these days. But the secret is it was used to keep evil spirits away. So they do serve as a dual purpose, to look amazing for us in our pictures and also to make sure the evil spirits stay away from the homes. So Mykonos is one of the most popular destinations in all of Greece and even in the world. It is constantly listed in some of the top island recommendations throughout the entire world. According to mythology, it was formed when the petrified bodies of Hercules were buried here. And it's been attracting jet setters since the 60s. Mykonos is famous for its incredible beaches, its vibrant nightlife, its shopping, and its very jet set atmosphere. We're going to start our touring of Mykonos with a visit to the uninhabited sacred island of Delos and Rhenia. Delos was an ancient bank in ancient times and was very famous and important in this region. So important to Greek mythology and to ancient Greek history. You could spend the day on a boat soaking up the incredible cosmopolitan vibes. You can hop beach clubs on your private cruise. And of course, this is a wonderful place to do a cooking class in nature where we could do it on the beach and pull things straight out of the sea for you to explore. After your visit to Mykonos, your next destination is going to be Paros. Paros is a very chic island. It boasts loads of local authenticity, and it is a wonderful place to mix the more cosmopolitan side of the Greek islands with the rural villages and take in the incredible local foods. It's going to be a short ferry ride from Mykonos, about an hour and a half, and there are so many wonderful things that are going to be await. So Paros was inhabited since 4000 BC. It definitely flourished in the 3000s BC because of its fine marble and its marble quarry. It traded with the Phoenicians till about 6 BC and then started some warring with the neighboring island of Naxos back in those times. One of the stories I love about Paros is that the patron saint is a woman. Usually it's a man or a god. It's Mavro Madoyenos, who was, she used her great fortune to protect the island during the War of Independence, which is an incredible thing to do. And it's one of the reasons that Paros was not really touched by it. So there really are some wonderful things to see and do throughout Paros. We're going to include a cooking class where you can get to know the culinary history of the island. You can visit with a local chef, you can practice your cooking, and of course you can take the wonderful foods that you make along with the local spirits of ouzo and chicoria. Next up, we're going to be exploring the island, and we'll start with the town of Perikia, which is the capital of Paros. You will see the traditional church of 100 doors. It was founded by Saint Helen, who was the mother of Constantine. He was the Byzantine emperor known for bringing Christianity to this region. This church is really important because it predates Christianity in the area. And of course, you will also visit the ancient part of Perikia, which was in use as far as 4,000 years ago. This is also a wonderful time to explore more of these lovely whitewashed streets, and of course to end the day with a beautiful sunset cruise into the bay and around Paros and Antiparos. We're going to continue our island hopping onto Santorini with a ferry ride. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the ferry you choose. This is a great day to start with a private dinner in Santorini and the incredible sunset views. You can soak up the views, you can relax, and this is a wonderful place for relaxation. One thing that a lot of people don't understand about Santorini is that it's not really an island. It's a volcanic rock. And it's one of the few places where a civilization is built on a volcanic rock. The whole island is about 35 square miles, so it is quite small. And it was formed by a volcanic eruption in 1500 years ago. And that's why many people think that Santorini is home to the lost Atlantis. So you can decide after your visit what you think. This island is definitely on everyone's bucket list. It is blessed, of course, because it's a volcanic island, with volcanic soil. So it has excellent and unique wine production. There are 100 grape species that grow here, which makes it an incredible place to enjoy some wine tours. It's also home to ancient Akrotiri, which is Santorini's answer to Pompeii. It is a deserted town that was just stuck in time when the volcano erupted. But these people knew the eruption was coming, so they were able to get out of the island before it happened. And it's believed that it was the Minoans that left from here and went down to Crete. So heading back to the tour, we're going to enjoy an unforgettable sunset cruise in Santorini. This is one of our most popular excursions on this island. It is a great place to get to know some of the beaches and landmarks by sea, and of course, to see the caldera from a different vantage point. You can also enjoy a swim in the hot springs and enjoy a mud bath in the incredible healing areas. Our last day in Santorini, we're going to visit the amazing history and culture. So we'll step away from the caldera and visit the black beaches, the volcanic sand beaches, and of course, ancient Akrotiri. This was the Middle and Bronze Age settlement that was, of course, affected by the volcano. This is where we're going to come to the end of our tour in Greece. It's going to be 13 days, 12 nights. Here you can see an overview of all of the things that you've done here. And of course, we do have sample itineraries that your agents can share with you. And for other visits in Greece, you can also consider the islands of Crete, Milos, and Naxos. These are incredible places that boast a variety of activities and interests. And of course, based on your interests, we can select the best islands for you. All right, we're going to close up the Greece chapter and head over to Croatia. Some great things to know about Croatia is that 10% of the land is made up of 8 national parks and nature reserves. It's a really beautiful place for nature travelers. The lucky people of Croatia get to enjoy 2,715 hours of sunshine per year, and it is also home to 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So there definitely is a lot to see and do in this tiny little country. Right, Croatians settled the Adriatic coast in the 7th century. They mostly settled within the ruins of the Roman Empire. So it's a place where there really is something for everyone. You've got natural sites, food and wine, history and culture, sports, sailing, romance, you name it, we've got it all. We're going to start with what we call the usual suspects. This is a typical first-time visit to Croatia, and it's going to include Dubrovnik, Hvar, and Split. So let's get started. This itinerary is going to be 3 nights each in each of these lovely destinations. We're going to focus on the important sites as well as some of the off-the-radar secrets of them. All right, we'll start in Dubrovnik, the Pearl of the Adriatic. This is what the English poet Lord Byron decided to call Dubrovnik after his first visit. And it's a name that's really stuck because truly it does offer something very special. Dubrovnik is one of the more requested destinations for US travelers. It's got some really wonderful old city sites. And of course, it's got so many things to do and visit within a very short distance. The fortified walls of Dubrovnik, of course, where the Game of Thrones was filmed, are the most preserved in all of Europe, and of course the most visited as well. So after a visit, you're going to have your driver waiting for you when you arrive. You're going to spend the rest of the day relaxing, and then we're going to get started in some of our touring. We will start within the fortified walls in the Old Town. This is the King's Landing from the Game of Thrones, which is a great fun fact about Croatia for all of you Game of Thrones fans. We're going to start in the medieval city, have a walking tour of the whole town, and of course, you'll be able to relax and enjoy the sights on your own following your visit with a guide. The next day, we're going to hop over to Montenegro or visit the oysters. This is two great options of a way to spend a day here. So one is you can go to Ston, which is nearby. It's a lovely walled city, and there's an incredible oyster farm where you could spend the day on a boat seeing how the oysters are farmed and tasting them and enjoying them as well. But alternatively, you can join a private driver guide and head over to Montenegro and visit some incredible gems like Parast, Kotor, and Buba. This is a really wonderful area as well. And one of the things that really makes a trip to Croatia special is that it's got so many other countries within a short period of time that you can do day trips. So it's really not uncommon to come back with 5 or 6 stamps in your passport from some of these nearby destinations as well. All right, next up, we're going to head over to Hvar. This is going to be via private transfer from Dubrovnik or by hydrofoil, you can choose. A stay in Hvar town is something that's quite popular, but you can also opt for something that is Stari Grad or Masalina. So you've got some options that are more relaxing and more out of the way as well. Hvar does have the best weather in all of Croatia. This island averages 2,800 hours of sunshine per year, so more than the rest of Croatia. It is very rich in history and culture. It's got impressive buildings, lavender fields. Some of you who may know about Croatia will know that Lavender Man is one of the recognizable superheroes coming from this wonderful island. You've got great local cuisines. And of course, for Champions League fans, you must know that the famous football player of Team Juventus, Igor Tudor, is from this island. So something that's very important to know for those footballers. This is known as the UNESCO island because it does have 6 UNESCO sites, so tangible cultural heritage interests. It's postcard-worthy, of course, and it is great for its local red wine. So for you people who are interested in wine, it's a wonderful spot to visit as well. Back to the itinerary, we're going to be visiting a tour around the waters in Bar and Palenque. We're going to visit the Blue Caves, and you can also visit nearby islands such as Vis, which has some of the most beautiful beaches in all of Croatia. And as I did note the wine, we're going to find out why Bar is recognized for its red wines. You can visit 3 wineries on the island, visit the winemakers, and of course, taste those lovely wines along with some of those local delicacies. Next up, we're going to be heading over to Split. This is the largest city on the Adriatic. It was founded by the Roman Emperor Diocletian, and most of its heritage is traced back to Roman times. For a large European city, this is one of them that's truly blessed by nature and sunshine. And of course, it is home to one of the oldest churches in the West. For our touring, we're going to hop over on a hydrofoil from Bar to Split. We're going to enjoy a private dinner the first day and of course have our free time to walk around town or along the port. On our touring day, we're going to enjoy a visit to the Diocletian Palace. We're going to visit the changing of the guards, and we'll visit the nearby seaside town of Trogir. This is going to be a wonderful day to explore the region, and we will continue by exploring some of the nature. So on day 9, we're going to visit Kirka National Park. This is a great way to see some incredible nature, visit the waterfalls, go for a great swim, and end with a visit to the seaside town of Šibenik. Unfortunately, this tour too does have to come to an end. So these are the inclusions that we talked about today, with 3 nights in each destination and tours to some of the really beautiful areas and sites. And of course, we do have other spots throughout Croatia that you can add on or consider as well. That includes Zagreb, Istria, which is now the new Tuscany of Europe, and of course, other islands that make visiting Croatia really fun and exciting. So for all of you travelers today, we've got a special offer for you. You can use code Travelex100 and receive $100 off per person for bookings through the end of May. I appreciate your time, Efkaristo and Bala, and of course, please feel free to reach out to your Travelex advisor to start planning your travels. Thanks so much.
So as we wait for maybe people to type some questions for you, Mina, maybe you could explain, we gave them a sample itinerary, but explain to them that the possibilities are endless, because it's all about us having a conversation with them and then putting together the perfect right fit for them. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
That's exactly right. I mean, when you look at Greece, you have 6,000 islands and islets to choose from, and that doesn't include the mainland. In Croatia, there are 1,200 islands to choose from, and that doesn't include the mainland. So truly, there's so many different variations that we can work with when we're planning itineraries. So just getting a good idea of what are your interests, what kind of things did you want to explore during this trip, or what do you like to do in your real life, in your leisure time? Knowing those things can really help us narrow down some of the best destinations and put together some really great experiences.
And we can also schedule a time when Mina is available if we would like to maybe set up something like this, a personal Zoom call with them to talk through that, and you can give them some insights based on what they're telling us and you to make the right suggestions for them.
Absolutely. Yes, we're happy to do that.
So, and then the only other thing, I think this is kind of like the elephant in the room always, what are the current protocols for traveling to either Greece or Croatia?
So currently in Greece, if you are vaccinated within the past 270 days, or if you are boosted, you do not require any additional testing to enter into Greece. If you're unvaccinated, you can get a test and you can enter Greece. And then you would have some restrictions in terms of indoor dining, cinemas, and other indoor activities. But in the summer season, most of everything happens outdoors. So that's really not so much of an issue. And in Croatia, I believe everything is kind of exactly the same. And Danielle, you can jump in if there's anything new that we need to add on there.
The only difference would be that there are no restrictions in terms of indoor areas. So it's the same thing. If you are vaccinated and it's been less than 270 days since you've received your second dose, you do not require additional testing. But if you have a booster, there is no limit to, there's no expiration date to say so. And when it comes to domestic travels, to ferries, restaurants, museums, there is no need to show any kind of certification.
So sounds like those are two of the wonderful destinations that don't require a whole lot of jumping through hoops.
Exactly.
Which I like, and I'm sure our clients do as well. So
Right.
I don't see any questions in our chat box or our Q&A. You must have done a fabulous job, Mina. But
Oh, well, thank you.
if you happen to think of a question that maybe after, I don't know, sitting around tonight, maybe having a glass of wine, you can always reach out to us. If we don't know the answer, we can get in contact with Mina and her team and find out the answers to the questions. So, but Mina, thank you very much. This was lovely. And if we don't have any questions, thank you all for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one. So everybody have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.